Hola y buenos días. Soy yo, el señor Morris. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Now, have you all been practicing your Spanish? Espero que sí. Today, we're going to begin a new unit titled Los Servicios de mi Comunidad. We'll be talking about the people and places around where you live. But let's begin, as we always do, with our canción de saludos. Canten todos conmigo. Hola, hola, buenos días, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Todos juntos ya estamos listos para aprender. Muy bien cantado. Now, I'd like to begin today's lesson with a question. The question is, ¿dónde vives? Repitan todos, ¿dónde vives? Now, for those of you who don't recognize it right off, I'm going to give you some clues as to what it's asking. First of all, you know it's a question because of these question marks. Okay, you see there's a question mark. Well, there's one over here at the end, so you know it's a question. But you see right over here? You see that one? An upside down question mark. That's right. In Spanish, there's an upside down question mark at the beginning and a regular question mark at the end of questions. You know, this makes a lot of sense because when you see this, you know right away that it's going to be a question rather than having to wait till the end. So if you see that, you know it's a question. Well, if somebody asked me this question, ¿Dónde vives? Come on over here. If I were to answer this question, I would say, vivo en un pueblo. Vivo en un pueblo. And you see this? Some small buildings, trees, wide streets, not a whole lot of people, not a whole lot of congestion. If I was talking about this place, you could probably figure out that this is, it's a small community, a small town, you might say. That's right. So if someone asked me, ¿Dónde vives? I would say, vivo en un pueblo. But what if I lived in a place that's kind of like this? A lot of tall buildings, they're all close together, a lot of movement, a lot of people on the streets, a lot of people living and working there. If I lived here and somebody asked me, I would say, vivo en una ciudad. Repitan todos. Vivo en una ciudad. Okay? This might be kind of like El Paso, where a lot of people are. Okay, do you know what that would be? As opposed to a town, it's probably a city. If someone asks some of you, ¿Dónde vives? Some of you may live in a place that's kind of like this. Yeah, a few buildings out, a lot of greenery, a lot of green. If you lived in this place, you would say, vivo en el campo. Repitan todos. Vivo en el campo. And this is probably familiar to all of you from our last unit when we said, remember, trabaja en el campo? Okay, so you should probably have seen this one before. So now let me ask you, and you'll all respond with your own answers. I'm going to ask you, ¿Dónde vives? Repitan, ¿Dónde vives? Okay. And now, you'll all respond with your own answers. You'll say, vivo en, and then you'll tell me what type of community you live in. So you say vivo en, and then you answer for yourself. But what if I want to ask about your grandfather? You remember from our last unit? El abuelo tu abuelo? The question is almost the same, except I would ask, ¿dónde vive tu abuelo? ¿Dónde vive tu abuelo? Okay. Well, if he lived here, you would answer by saying, vive en el campo. Repitan todos. Vive en el campo. Now, do you see the difference here in what you say if you're talking about your grandfather from what you said about yourself? See right here, vive en el campo if I'm talking about your grandfather or someone else. If I'm answering for myself, remember I said vivo en el campo. Yeah. Well, what if I was to ask about your aunt? Okay. You remember aunt from our last one? Tía? Okay. If I was to ask about her, I would ask the question, ¿dónde vive tu tía? Repitan todos. ¿Dónde vive tu tía? Okay. Well, what if she lived here in this place? How would you answer? You would say, vive en una ciudad. Repitan todos. Vive en una ciudad. Very good. Now, I tell you what, who can figure out how to ask the question for your female cousin? Okay, think about it. Your female cousin is your prima. So the question will be, ¿dónde vive tu prima? Okay. So if someone asks you, ¿dónde vive tu prima? She lived here. How would you answer the question? Everybody, see if you can tell your teacher. Did you tell your teacher that you would answer by saying, vive en un pueblo? Repitan todos. Vive en un pueblo. All right, muy bien. Ahora, quiero que repasen con este video donde vives. Presten atención y repitan todos. ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en un pueblo. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en una ciudad.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en el campo. Okay, now we're going to be going over those again. I hope you've been jotting these down and keeping them in your notebooks. You know, we've been talking about a couple of questions just now, and we said that the question mark lets you know that it's a question. Well, also, there are words that are question words. Does anyone know what some of these question words are in English? Can you think of any question words in English? Discuss it with your teacher. See if you can think of any. Some of them that I can think of right offhand are what, who, how, which, why, how many. Right. These are all question words. They're words that we use to ask questions. In Spanish, there are also question words. And if you learn these words well, you can ask a lot of questions. And that's a great way to learn things. So to kind of help you, we've included as an activity sheet today the question words, some of the question words in Spanish. And let's look at that right now. The sheet looks like this. You can see all of the words with the upside down question marks, and they've got little pictures next to them. See, and we've got a lot of them listed there. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and look at them one at a time right now, beginning with this one up at the top. ¿Quién? Repitan, ¿quién? Well, ¿quién is when we're talking about one person or people. ¿Quién, if we're talking about someone, what word would we use? We'd probably use the word who. So ¿quién means who. You might want to jot this down in your notebook. It's real useful information. The next word that we have there is donde. Donde. To answer this, you could say, well, on a park bench, or oh, at home, or in the United States of America. Donde is asking the question, where? Where? So it could be, ooh, donde? Well, in the park bench, or oh, at home, oh, in the United States, or oh, in North America. Okay. Their next question word is ¿qué? ¿Qué? Repitan todos. Okay. ¿Qué could be a pen or some pens, or it could be fishing, or a bunch of people out fishing. ¿Qué means what? What? What is that? What are they doing? What? So ¿qué means what? Go ahead and jot that down. The next question word is ¿cuándo? ¿Cuándo? And to answer questions about cuándo, you might use a watch or a calendar. So cuándo is asking about time or dates. That means when. When are you going to school? When is your birthday? So cuándo means when. The next word that we see here is ¿cómo? ¿Cómo? On my bike, with a hammer. How did you get to school? On my bike. How did you nail that in? With my hammer. ¿Cómo means how. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo means how. The next one, ¿cuánto? Dollars or apples. How many? ¿Cuánto? How many? The last one is ¿cuál? And this one's a little bit tricky. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Is it this one? Which one? ¿Cuál means which. So go ahead and jot that down so that you can remember that, and use these pictures, because maybe they'll help you recall the different words. Okay? Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and look at our activity sheet on today's lessons about the various places that you might live. The activity sheet for today is called ¿Dónde vive? ¿Dónde vive? It looks like this. Let's go ahead and start by writing our names at the top. Mi nombre. And the directions say, look at the picture to answer the question. Okay, here's our answers that we can use. Una ciudad, un pueblo, el campo. And the question says, ¿Dónde vive Alma? And if we look here, we can see Alma vive en, where is this? Alma vive en un pueblo. Un pueblo. Now, once I've done that, remember I always like to mark through my answers. ¿Dónde vive Gregorio? See if you can figure out that one and that one. Now, down here at the end, it says, ¿Dónde vives? So I'm asking you, ¿Dónde vives? You answer the question for yourself. And you say, vivo en, and you write your own answer. And then I put a box there next to you where you can draw your own community. Go ahead and draw your own community there. Do that whenever your teacher gives you some time to finish that up, okay? And I think you guys are going to do a great job of that. Pues ahora tenemos que despedirnos. Remember to keep practicing. Maybe you could try inventing some games that help you go over what we do in class. Now, for our goodbye song today, I'd like to sing De Colores. And before we sing it, I'd like to kind of go over the words with you so that you'll know what we're talking about. This is a very popular song in many places, especially in New Mexico, here in the United States. And the words go like this. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. And that means of many colors, in many colors, the fields get all dressed up in spring. Have you ever seen the fields in the spring with the flowers and everything? Okay, that's what that's talking about. And it continues by saying, de colores son los pajarillos que vienen de afuera. So that means that from many colors are the birds that come from far away. So we're talking about the beauty of the birds and the fields and all of the wonderful colors. And the song continues like this. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir. And that means the many colors is the rainbow that we see shine. Okay, that we can see shining in the sky. So we've talked about the fields and the birds and the rainbow. So we come to the part that we repeat, kind of like the chorus, and it goes, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. So that's why I say I love all of the great colors. It's like saying I love all of nature and the beautiful colors that it presents before me. They all give me great pleasure. And we repeat that. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Then we start the second verse, and this talks about some barnyard birds that you may know. The first one is the rooster. He's called a gallo, and it says that the rooster sings. Canta el gallo con el kiri, 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 kiri. Now, what does a rooster say? We say the rooster says cock-a-doodle-doo. Well, in Spanish, even the roosters speak a different language. Instead of saying cock-a-doodle-doo, he says kikiriki. Okay. Then we talk about la gallina, which is the hen. La gallina con el cara, 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 cara. So instead of saying cluck, 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 the hen says kakaraka, kakaraka. Okay, so we talked about the rooster and the hen, and now we talk about the little chicks, los polluelos con el pío, 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 pío. Okay, so the chicks in Spanish, they don't say cheep, cheep, they say pío, pío, pío. And then we finish up with our chorus, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. And we sing that again, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Let's go ahead and sing it once real quick before we go. ¿Listos? De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajarillos que vienen de afuera. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Now we'll sing about the animals. Canta el gallo con el kiri, 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 kiri. La gallina La gallina con el cara, 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 cara. Los polluelos con el pío, 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 pío. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Until next time, adiós y hasta luego.